Hi, guys, this is the Bangalore podcast, and we are a bunch of guys who are ever curious and we want to get out there and ask stupid questions to smart people. And we want Bangalore to answer. And this podcast is all about that. And if you are curious like us too, and if you're a Bangalorean, this is a good place to be.
All right, guys, another episode of the Bangalore podcast, and we have Achish and Mr. Alan from the Grafted branch, right?
We both are misters.
Yeah, with brackets. Okay, so guys, you guys were interested in knowing what the podcast is about, like. So the main aim of the podcast was to just introduce Bangaloreans to other Bangaloreans.
Okay.
So we were chilling in the jam room. So we thought we get anyone over who'd interest to speak, and you guys, it looked like you guys were interesting, and you guys wanted to speak about your band and like what you guys are into.
Mm-hmm.
So how about introducing the band and yourselves a bit?
Yeah, okay, to start with, as you already know, I am Alan.
Yeah.
And this is Achish.
Mr.
We have
Achish.
three other members in the band.
Yeah.
Jerry, who's a guitarist, and followed by Isaac,
Okay.
who's also another guitarist, and then Avik, who's our bassy. Together, we are called the Grafted branch, and we are a contemporary, classic rock band, which is into original music from India. We work on English songs,
Nice.
and
And I've been listening, so crazy music.
thank
Yes,
you.
thank you.
The best is yet to come,
Definitely, definitely.
So that is who we are, and it's been a good journey. It's been challenging thus far, but we're trying to see, how we
What-
could take it to the very end.
Nice. And what are some of your interests? What do you guys like listen to?
I go pretty much old school. I mean, again, I'll come to this as I'm explaining as to why
Yeah,
we
yeah.
are eventually called the Grafted branch. Say, for example, my drummer comes from a very metal background, so
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
loves
yeah.
metal.
So
music.
I'm not into this classic
Alright.
rock.
Yeah.
And I have nothing to do with metal.
So nice, a bit of
Alright.
the power from metal coming
yeah,
through.
you could say.
Yeah, I was here listening to him belt the double bass, bro. That was
Absolutely.
like killer.
Yeah. Sometimes he kills the song also.
Some
But-
shade.
yeah, but then it's fun. So but we are evolving. We are beautifully evolving, if you ask
Nice.
us, because everyone comes from a different background. Our bassy comes from a very indie pop, Bollywoodish background. Though he does have a varied interest, but he works from that kind of a background primarily. I come from a very old school 50s, 60s kind of blues. and-
Beatles.
Beatles. Yeah.
Beatles and
Amen.
all the way. My journey
Dire
with
Straits.
music stops. Yeah, Dire Straits. It stops at probably Bon Jovi, worst case scenario, Brian Adams, and everything comes to a standstill.
Nice.
Beyond that, I really didn't get that kind of inclination or interest
Right.
towards digitized music.
Music, yeah.
So that is where our core experience comes together from. The band is pretty old and young too. So
Yeah.
that's what
How often do you guys jam?
we used to be doing almost 6 to 7 hours a week earlier.
Yeah.
Tell us how the
And-
band started, at least. How was it formed?
Oh, that's a good question. now.
Yeah, it is a miracle, which I would say is primarily because it is destiny.
Hmm.
All right, all of us, frankly, all of us, the band members, we strongly believe in the God factor.
Right.
Right, so we don't believe in the universe. We believe in someone above the universe.
Right.
And it all started with me. Primarily, I was a vocalist all my days
Right.
until my schooling and stuff like that. Then I
Hmm.
kind of totally gave up on that. Got in a very early marriage,
Huh.
and then life got busy because I was very passionate about business.
Right.
Then about 2.5, 3 years ago, I got this inclination in me once again to say, why don't you get started with songs?
Hmm. Some kind of a
and
calling.
singing and stuff like that. And it was very passionate. It was not like, it's
Huh.
a time pass.
Right.
You wanted to do that,
Hmm.
preferably to eventually kind of wean myself off from business and make
Hmm.
this as my, core life for
That's
the rest
great.
of
That's
it.
great.
And it is a challenge. Being in a country like India, people are happy
Yeah, yeah.
about sessions and things like
Hmm.
that. Nobody wants to make this their committed,
Mhm.
life source.
Right. Definitely.
Forget it's your income source, a life source. You draw your life from it. Every morning you
Hmm.
wake up because this is what you want to live for,
Definitely.
right? I understand the challenges of food, clothing, and shelter. I'm not
Definitely.
against it either.
Yeah.
But it's
This
a
is-
very hard task to really pick up that kind of people and say, all right, fine, you know what? Let's give it a shot.
Push this.
Willing to go the full distance, come
Mhm.
what may. We never know what the challenges are gonna be.
Right.
But until we try, we're never gonna.
Definitely.
Right? So we then kind of came together. We had a lot of makeovers, time and again.
A lot of
Pulling
members
in
changing.
guys. Yeah,
Huh.
that's the makeover we are talking about.
So who did you approach first? You started the band?
I already had a couple of very good friends of mine. We used to be church playing people
Right.
initially.
What do you guys jam? Oh, okay. Church music and
Yeah, and then we were for the first 2 weeks along with those friends of mine by name Stanley John, Isaac, and a couple other people. We started working on Jim Morrison and
Yeah, old
Dire
school.
Straits and stuff like that.
yeah.
Then the third
Floyd.
week, Pink Floyd is a little more
bit
technical, and
rocky.
you need also that kind of arrangement. A 4-piece band cannot pull off a Pink
Yeah.
Floyd work.
Synth. You guys have a synth?
Not as yet.
No,
we
no,
are we
yeah,
are
yeah.
on that note over blog. We are
Uh-huh.
desperately letting it out. We are on the
Yeah,
lookout for a good keyboardist.
Yeah.
So if anyone is listening
If
to
there's
this,
somebody who wants to play the synth for these guys,
Please
you know
hit
where
them
to
up.
reach out.
yeah, the jam room.
Yeah.
So that's where it all began. Then by the third week, my other good friend and guitarist then, by name Stanley John, he said, bro, why don't we actually do your songs? By then I had already finished about 6-7 songs which
Okay,
I
nice.
composed. Then I was game for it, but I didn't know how many were open for such an idea, and I was happy that it came from within the team. We started from there. Then there was this exodus of people walking out saying, "Oh, I don't think I can fit into this because what you're looking for is something huge. You really want to sacrifice your time, money, family, everything, and run into it." So slowly, people were exiting one by one, and
Definitely.
then there was
We've been through that. I feel, with being with band members.
absolutely.
It's
and like I said, especially it's very challenging in our country because there is not much of an acknowledgement or a recognition, be it from the public sector or even from the private sector, so to say, let's entertain private music, let's push it forward, let's promote such activities. There's nothing at that. Everything stops at Bollywood.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the bubble burst.
Yeah.
Whatever splashes there. And so we decided, okay, fine, let's take a chance. That is when I met Achish through Facebook when my bassy then,
Okay.
one Mr. Asaf Collins, he said, I've just found this guy and he looks to be interested. So that's where we kind of caught up over coffee for about 2 hours.
Right.
We had this very distraught talk where I was telling him I'm just bugged, I don't even want to do things
That's
anymore.
fine,
These
do
guys can
music.
commit and stuff like that. And this guy said exactly that is what I want to do. Eventually I want to just kind of see myself off from the corporate and I want to move into what I'd like to do.
Definitely.
But then we were just trying to already draw parallels because he's from a metal background and
Play lesser notes.
yeah.
Play lesser. Just keep time.
Yeah.
Don't go everywhere.
Exactly, but thankfully he wasn't that much of a task for us to handle because
Definitely.
he kind of again I would say this is where destiny is, and I'd again relate to that with regards to him alone, because we really went hard for the next 7 months. We really slogged our backs off. We pulled off some 2 great shows, and right after that he had to leave on the grounds of certain family pressures and work pressure more than
Work
anything
pressure.
else.
General pressure.
Then it's like practically everything fell apart again. And for me, I'm a little finicky guy.
Right.
If it is done, it has to be done. If not, I don't keep taking 101 chances. So
Right.
I'm willing to, push forward. But if it is involving people, my problem is that, I can push myself alone.
Yeah.
But if I have to pull along, 5 other characters,
Community.
it's always a task. That kind of led us to a downtime. But it's very amazing. Hardly after 9 months, we had to come together again. And here we
right.
are,
Back
sitting
here.
in our first blog.
Right.
And,
So, bro, it's a podcast, bro.
Yeah.
It's a new spear of our audio world where podcasting is lifting off, and so we're trying to bring podcast and so it's more of audio based versus video. So that's why we worry about the audio part more than anything else.
don't worry about it.
So, bro, I want to speak to Achish.
Go ahead.
Give us a bit about how you got into drumming and what made you give us a couple of your inspirations.
Well, yeah. So basically, I was not supposed to be a drummer. My mom literally pushed
Bro,
me to
you
learn.
play an instrument too?
Yeah, I play a bit of the acoustic and the keyboards. Yeah.
Okay.
So my mom literally pushed me to the guitar classes, and she wanted me to learn guitars.
Oh, nice.
Nothing else. But then I was kind of interested towards keyboard, but then I wasn't having any exposure towards
Right.
that. So, but rhythm was something which I felt that I had within.
Beautiful.
My grandfather was a pastor, so I'm used to playing
Oh, nice.
drums there,
Huh.
with whatever I get.
Hmm.
Then finally, after 2-3 years of guitar classes, finally one day I realized, you know what, this is not my cup of tea. This is not happening. And then I just picked up a drum kit, started practicing by myself,
Nice.
And then it's been going on since then.
So,
I've been with a couple of bands in between.
okay.
So that's where my influences, I could say that my influences are not very great because
No
it's all a
problem.
mix and mash of everything.
There's somebody who's listening properly, who's still listening to the bands, right?
Maybe.
And which are
See, when it comes to metal, Lamb of God was like my favorite.
OG.
Yeah.
We were, I was there, bro, when they were here.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. See,
I met them. I met those guys also. It was
but I
crazy.
didn't get the chance to do that.
Bro, it was nice. It was fun.
So yeah, Lamb of God. Then when it comes to the really dark side, I love Filth.
Oh yeah,
I
Cradle
was
of Filth.
doing Cradle of Filth,
Yeah.
and then some
Dark
boredom.
Tranquility.
Yeah, some boredom, tranquility, all these stuff.
We were too much into this back then.
So yeah, but off late I've been seeing that these kind of music has been dying.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, if you have a laptop, you can become a musician these
Definitely,
days.
that's where I'm headed. I left all the guitar and all of that,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay.
So,
this
but
piece
then
of-
I didn't want to give up on that.
Huh.
I just thought like no matter
you
what.
like the physical aspect
Yeah,
of playing.
playing,
That's-
yeah, that has
Analog is
always
the
been.
deal,
It's
yeah,
the
for
analog.
us.
Analog was the digital.
that
world.
has always been, I had that internal thought that as a band, it's socializing also. It's really nice, and when you're making music together with one mind,
Yeah,
I feel that it's a better miracle than anything else,
definitely.
and it's a better feel as well.
And
I
bro, and drummers are hard to find, bro.
feel.
Definitely.
They are,
Look
without a
like
doubt.
you guys, like this.
The contribution that Achish has done is also like
Huh.
the previous drummer compared to
Huh.
how the tone has changed is also like pretty
Nice.
crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
Without
because
doubt.
he just literally filters the
Right. Give
that thing out of you.
great.
Yeah.
So okay, bro. Someone who's listening, drumming tips. Just give us like if somebody's beginning, what would you just tell them? What would you want them to do? Just the metronome and just or play a track and then drum
Practice
over it.
over it or yeah.
How would
if
you
you
approach
want
it?
to play for a song, what I would say is just
Or a
first,
beginner who wants to just get the chops.
yeah, to get that. Yeah, first you'll have to get your coordination right. For any
Mm.
drummer, that's what matters the
Mm.
most.
Mm.
So you'll have to work your limbs like
Limbs and-
individually.
Yeah.
That is one thing. But then if you want to start playing for a song, I would actually ask the new person to feel the song first. Because drum can be a hard instrument, a harsh instrument also at the same time. Like you can make a song sound really heavy, but at the
Mm.
same time you can make a song sound sleepy as well.
Right.
So
The
to
laid
find the
back
sweet spot between these two, you need to feel the song properly first, so that you can give your best and make a drummer should also complement the song and
Right,
not
right.
overcrowd it. So to get that, I think you should
And to just
actually
sit down and practice if somebody wants to. How would you like ask
sit
them
down
to
and practice. I would just say go with the proper stick works.
stick with left,
Parallels,
left,
left, right. That those strokes matter a lot. So that's
and
what
do it
matters a lot.
around all the left, right, left.
No,
right.
no. Just first you get it on a simple practice
Yeah,
pad.
yeah.
Just go it,
Parallel.
and then make yourself feel a little free. Move yourself here and there, and then that's when you find.
What's
the
your
spot.
sticking? Like this is my personal question. Like how do you what do you expect somebody? How do you stick? Hold the stick, like
See, there are-
with the thumbs up or like there are a couple of this
Mm,
one, right? What do you prefer?
See, since I've not learned with proper basics,
Yeah.
at times I find myself doing this the push pull technique. Sometimes by mistake, it happens for me where
Happens,
I'm using just my wrist.
Wrist,
So I honestly feel it's just the comfort zone of each drummer.
yeah.
If
Okay.
you it is obviously good if you follow proper theory and then start following it, but
Mm.
then you have to enjoy what you're doing.
Enjoy what you do.
Yeah,
Get a feel of it.
yeah, and then if you're just going to follow
in
the
the
rules,
hours.
breaking rules is always enjoyable.
It's nice. Yeah. That's good, bro.
Very true.
So what about the band? How are you liking the band and like where is it going?
Yeah, so I have been with a lot of other bands before, but then this was one band where I felt like we were all comfortable with each other because our vision was one. So all of us, even though we are from different backgrounds with music or like influences and all that stuff, but then our focus was one. So that was one thing. But yeah, in between, since it's a band, it's like a family.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
get distracted here and there.
Yeah.
But then there is God after him in our band, since our lead vocalist is
Yeah.
monitoring every one of us properly.
Right.
Big boss.
So yeah, the big boss is right here. So he's getting it going, and then and one more thing, what we feel is that we are open to our band is really open to suggestions from like each member of the band. Like we are not following one single pattern.
Single pack.
Since because Alan is writing the music, he doesn't have that thought like, no, this is what I want and this is how it's
Yeah,
supposed
yeah.
to be. But then
He
we
lets
can all put our inputs
in that
and
domains.
and then make whatever we create
Right.
sound a little more better and great is what we
and
feel.
glue together.
Yeah. So in that aspect, I would say that this band feels really awesome, and we
Right.
have really positive music.
Yeah.
It's not that we are just because you're depressed, go kill yourself, put a gun to your head. No,
Yeah.
that's not what we're saying.
Not
But-
dark
Yeah.
tranquility vibes.
So
Or
not in
Slayer.
those vibes, but then at the same time, we're not just telling like no matter what happens, just chill. No, it's not that as
Yeah.
well. Like you have to be
Uplifting.
emotional.
It's
Yeah.
always about pulling yourself up again.
Yeah,
Hmm.
pulling yourself up, and you're not alone to pull yourself up.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That is what we try to say with our band.
That's good, bro. So, what else? Do you have any questions?
Bro, that's what the name Grafted branch. Like, could you
Yeah.
explain like what it means?
Yeah, the grafted branch is a very simple explanation. It starts from the Bible. In one place, when you know Jesus was teaching people, I say people and not Christians because
Huh.
Jesus is for the world, not for Christians.
Huh.
Now he was explaining as to how easy it is for any human person to lead his life when he or she is constantly connected to the God factor. So he referred to himself as the bark of the tree.
Okay.
And he said as long as the branch is staying put in the bark, it is getting the constant supply that it needs for it to thrive
Yeah.
and shoot forth and then bring forth flowers and
Yeah.
eventually become fruitful. The moment the branch cuts itself off from the bark,
Yeah, it dies.
the core stem,
Yeah.
you fall apart and you die.
Yeah.
So this is what the logic is all about. So for us, through all the songs, as Achish rightly said, I personally only know one thing: God is all about positivity. He has got nothing negative about himself.
Positivity and possibility.
It's positivity and possibility. Thank you for putting words there. You could make a song, I guess.
Oh no! Don't do that.
You can re-listen to this episode and probably.
So that is where the grafted branch comes from. And for me, the secondary core, which is not much different from that, is, the larger aspect that the branch is humanity. The bark is humanity, and it comes from God again for me. So mankind has to, actually step aside from all the differences they've created among themselves and come and tap into this humane touch, which the
Right.
world has been losing over a period of time. So for us, again, for me, that comes from the Bible on the simple context that, when someone walked up to Jesus one day and they asked, what do you think I need to do for me to go to heaven and not go to hell? And now this is the answer coming from a God person. The personality is God himself, and he didn't complicate it at all. He only gave them two, answers. He said one is, love the Lord your God with all your heart. And the second part is, love your neighbor as yourself.
Amen.
It's as simple as that. Firstly, you just love and respect your God. The next thing is, love your neighbor, whoever it is. That just doesn't really matter. Treat him like the way you'd like to treat yourself. So that's why I said for me, the core factor is the bark is
Right.
God himself, and all humans have to go, embarking on a journey to say, all right, let me get back to being why God created me to be a human. And then the secondary aspect is, God is humanity. He has all the human touch in him. So let all humanity come back to him to start reflecting that humanity. And here the thing is, there is no strings attached, number one, and there are no restrictions. There is no restriction whatsoever. Anyone can access God and can be actually a good human. There's no big deal to it. And there is no judgment as to why you could not be a better human and I could not be. Everyone is given a strength. Have you ever seen all the 10 branches in a tree looking the same way?
No.
But if you notice, all the branches will have the same kind of fruits.
Right.
So the
Right.
branches can be different,
But
but the fruit will be the same.
same.
It's human touch.
Amazing. Yeah.
It's as simple as that. So,
Nice.
that's all that it takes. Just come back to why you have been created for.
Nice.
That's the origin of the grafted branch.
And therefore, you're grafting, the process of grafting,
And
right?
your songwriting and your lyrics, whatever
Reflects,
you
yeah,
does
It
reflect?
very much reflects this core,
Hmm.
Let humans get back to humanity, and humanity is nothing but the embodiment of God
Nice.
himself. That's it.
It's great. And you've been going around doing shows or anything?
We
in
were
the
until
pipeline?
June, and that was our last. And then came the break, like I said. This is last year, 2019. Now, thankfully, yeah, we've gotten back together. That's why I surely believe
Huh.
this is, our purpose, and
Nice.
I don't want to let go of it now. We've just been working very lately on a new song, which is
Yeah.
again reaching out to humanity.
And has the lockdown improved? As musicians, you think is there any certain it's easy for musicians right now to sit back and write the writing process easier because there's a lot of lot of outside noises are not there, so it's, you can get together and it's a bit easier in a way, because or else people are busy, you can't like coordinate.
I think it's each to his own. I don't know, because every songwriter relates to something to come up with a song. I relate to my emotion relating to my experiences.
In terms of like getting people together and practicing.
The problem was even jam rooms were closed, right?
Yeah,
They were all shut down. It's hardly like, a month now?
Yeah.
A little over a month we are open. So yeah, we're trying to get our act together, and there's no question of let's see how far we can go.
Right.
We want to go.
Right,
That's
definitely.
about it.
Nice.
You know.
Would you want to talk about this new song that you're making?
Well,
The
okay.
single.
Yeah, it's a single. We're just in the process of making. It's underway, progress. We've just finished the audio production. It's called Hey Black.
Okay.
All right, and for me, the inspiration for that song was with the murdering of George Floyd
Yeah.
that happened in the United States by
Yeah.
the police department, and the whole world was crying and wailing over his death, which we also did condemn without a doubt, because I think no act of a human is worthy enough to put him to death.
Right.
Because again, we believe strongly that life and death belongs to a creator. Not to anybody. You have no right to judge a person to the extent of who can live and who can die.
Right.
Not at all. So my whole mind was kind of revolving around that aspect of it, not necessarily to George Floyd. It was, but how many else are going through it? They just wanted to make a political twist out of that, because it was unfortunately a dark-skinned person, and they were always considered as an oppressed community. But then I was evolving a much more on a larger aspect and say, how many other oppressed communities are there which have gone unnoticed in the world for centuries together? And I don't have to look for that, as an inspiration from the United States with the dark-skinned people struggling. If I take my own country of 130 crore people, for the amount of caste and creed and clan and sect and everything that they have created, man, so many communities within us for centuries are suffering and struggling. So the song and its inspiration was, it's not the skin that is going to depict who is black and who is white.
Right.
Any unruly, evil, inhumane treatment to any other, co-human is a black act.
Definitely.
It's black. It's
An
dark.
unjust
It's just not accepted. It is dark. So the song starts saying, hey, black.
Right.
So the thing is not that we're talking to a person who's black in color. We're talking to the color itself.
Right.
That's why our tagline for the song is, it's called Hey Black, a talk with color. Because we're
Right.
talking, we're calling out to, the color called black and say, hey, black,
Right.
lives matter. So don't try to bring your tonality and try to discriminate us and divide us and make us fall apart.
Definitely.
So this is what this song is revolving around. It is, for us, for me, very personally, it is a very emotional, act of putting the whole script together, because the song practically enabled me to touch all the core values of how it's not about skin, how it's not about a good act, how it's not about having good looks. I always say,
Goes beyond
perfect things and good things can come out of
that.
very imperfect looking machines.
Yeah.
Practically,
Imperfections.
there is,
Perfections through imperfections.
yeah, absolutely, it can come through anything that just doesn't look like right. And that's where, for me, nobody wants to see. I for example, I admire beauty in a woman. So I always like to look at a woman and say, wow, she's very pretty. I can never look at a cow and say, wow, that's a pretty cow.
True.
But do you know the amount of cow dung that it dumps out of its body creates and regenerates and rejuvenates the soil from where you are back to eating your grain and your paddy. And so good things need not necessarily come out of some of the most perfectly looking beings. It can come out of the most imperfect things, most imperfectly looking people, come out of the most imperfect system too. That is why I have hope for India. It's a very imperfect system. But I strongly have a hope something very beautiful is eventually going to evolve out of this. It's due. It's just a matter of time. So, fingers crossed, trusting the big man on top.
Definitely.
I'm not talking to the PM. I'm talking about God.
Right. So, where do you guys study, and a bit about like
Maybe
until now?
Achish will the answer,
Achish.
because this is more a roller coaster.
So I'm basically a software engineer, bro.
Okay.
So basically a software engineer. So that is where my basic part of life is destroyed.
CS.
CS. So yeah, Schooling, I did my schooling in St. John's.
Huh.
Then, due to my extracurricular activities and all my friends and all that stuff, so
Huh.
my 11th and 12th, I
Jai.
fortunately didn't have a chance to be here in Bangalore.
Huh.
So I did there in Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
So once I finished there, then continued my engineering there as well.
Okay.
And then came down here. So that's where my focus on music was completely distracted and
Right.
lost track of it.
Huh.
Hence the bad influences in music.
No, not
What about-
necessarily.
What about where you were working and what were you into?
So I'm into testing.
Ah,
I'm a-
software test.
Yeah, software testing. So I work in this company called PTW.
Okay.
Pole
It's
to
in-
win, by the
Pole
way.
to win. It's
Pole to-
Pole to win sounds very fancy. And
It's a gaming. It's not a.
yeah,
It's
we have part of gaming and software as well.
okay.
Uh-huh.
So mainly it's based on gaming processes.
Okay. Nice.
And
There's nothing much to talk
Much,
about. That,
yeah.
You
Th-
ask.
As
Tell us
long as
about
You want me to
don't
explain
Nobody
want
said
to talk about-
software.
Yeah.
You know,
That shit.
the hardware is lost.
A little more stick work I can give you.
Yeah, no
examples.
Some patterns.
Some patterns.
Yeah, bro. What about you?
I'm self-employed.
Huh.
I've been that way for about 16 years
Schooling and
now.
studying.
Schooling. I mean, I was born and raised up in Chennai.
Okay.
All right. My parents, my mom's from Ooty. My dad is from down south, a place called Tirunelveli,
Okay.
which is known for wielding, massive
Tirunelveli
tails
gang.
Huh? Yeah.
Three of us
Ah,
Tirunelveli,
oh,
bro.
crazy.
Yeah. And incidentally, there's a lot of, musical brains and minds born out of that region, just to know.
So we are like
It's
the
apparent.
south of Manipur.
Yeah, yeah,
South of Manipur.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I've never seen that place, but for once, I guess I visited there.
Right.
Yeah, that's all that I know about the place. I'm very fond of their food still.
Yeah.
So, it's known for their food.
Huh.
Tirunelveli is very well, known for its food.
Parota.
Anything, name it. All right, it's all confined to the Parota. And so studied in Chennai, finished my graduation and my schooling in Madras Christian College,
Okay.
MCC. And a lot of musical influence there, but I don't know, from my very childhood I had musical influence.
right.
It's only helped being there.
Mhm.
Worked for about 2 years, and
Huh.
then I knew I just couldn't be under anybody. It was a
Huh.
task.
Worked
And
into what? In which?
Field.
field I worked. I worked with a.
I like these details because I
No, that's
usually
totally
when
fine.
I like
You
I
know,
like such stuff.
you
too.
need to know from time to time people can come from shit.
Yeah.
So I am one. I
I'm
came
there.
from.
I'm interested. I'm
I
also interested in people who are working because again, like I'm interested with people who do music as well with work, or like when I read books too, it's people who talk about like their work and what are they
Right.
into. So I like having fun.
absolutely. You need to know where we fail to win. So, so
Nice.
I failed in a workplace to
Huh.
realize, okay, that's not my winning area.
Yeah.
So 1.5 years I worked with call centers. I worked in between with HR positions and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Then I moved on from there. I decided I wanted to take the leap to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And
And what
I was
pushed you?
24 then. When I
Hmm.
started business, I was 24 exactly.
What pushed you into just this basic fact of let me just start putting
In the
things
call
for
center, I
myself?
worked as a call center agent for a Columbus Bank or something like that in Atlanta, Georgia.
Mhm.
Then I moved on to the HR side for a bit
Right.
and consulting and stuff like that because I'm a very people's person. I move a
Yeah,
lot about
yeah.
with people.
Hmm.
And it aided me. I was into recruitment for a bit.
Right.
Then I didn't want to really streamline all my energy because I work in a very committed manner, whatever I take. Otherwise, I
Exactly.
don't pick up stuff.
Hmm.
Then I realized I'm slogging my back off for that company, and that is growing by leaps and bounds. And I'm
Leaps
just here scratching for my few
Definitely.
nuts in there. Nothing
Yeah.
else. Practically, they give you a bag of nuts,
Hmm.
all right? And they expect you to be happy too,
Mm.
which
So
though I'm
that-
not money minded,
Yeah.
but I
that
think
drove
I need to be honored for what I'm due.
you. Yes.
Everyone for that matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
And that drove you to think.
that told me that I need to get to where I need
I
to
mean,
get.
that's why I asked this question because there's somebody else who's listening and who's probably in your position.
Absolutely.
What would you tell them? Like, what drove you to that situation? Like, what would you like advise them how to get things together so that you can branch off and start doing something on your own? Because like I feel like you've done it since.
My
you know-
rules for life in itself are very simple, Sakshit. It's simple. It always starts with God.
Hmm.
I'm not asking you to go lock your room and pray for 10 hours. No, I'm not
Hmm.
trying to. Trust me, I'm not the future guru.
Right. Right.
All right, I'm not running any foundation.
Hmm.
All right, the truth is very simple.
Yeah.
Be in touch with your God all the time.
Hmm.
All right, because that is when you understand why you have been created for.
Hmm.
It's simple as that. You need to know your creator to know what you're created for.
Right. Right.
then understand that. Go bonkers on it.
Hmm.
It just doesn't really matter. People will always come and give you a lot of input saying you've never been there, you've never done that.
Yeah.
Do you know what are the hassles that are going to be in the journey? Whoever knew that?
Hmm.
Whoever knew that?
Right.
Life is always off the beaten path.
Right.
All right.
Sometimes 24 or like 27. Sometimes people are.
It's
you know,
60
still
for
too
someone
long.
like
Yeah.
General Sanders.
Yeah. Exactly.
He just let down his gun and he held to chicken.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
And he became
Right.
KFC.
Because it's like almost like a sunken cost fallacy. The more I'm into it, I feel like I shouldn't let go because I've already put in so much. Some people think like that, right? So it's.
We are writing one of those songs very relating to that, where we say, one's got to kill himself. So the meaning is to say, you are the person who's fearing the person who's created. So there are two people in you.
Exactly.
One is who was created by God, and the other one is who's constantly telling you, no, don't go there, don't go there. If you go there, you don't know what all that road can bring. But man, that is where you belong. So don't listen to that other voice that keeps telling you, Sakshit, take it slow. Sakshit,
Calm
you
down.
don't know. Tomorrow's bread butter is meant to be on the table. No, don't
The
go
rational
that way.
part of your brain.
You know why? That's why God has given man the ability to starve at least for 15 days.
Hmm.
Because you never, your dream can break through in that 15 days. So it's all
Very
right
true.
to starve. It's all right to wear torn inners. It's all right not to have a socks inside your shoe, not for fashion, but actually you couldn't afford one.
Yeah.
And all this can be experienced when you say to hell with what my voice is saying and to go towards what you are created for.
Your gift.
That's it. You have to accept that is where you belong to. Until you accept that is where you belong to, you can never get through to it.
Definitely.
And at 60 you'll regret. But who the hell cares?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you might have a brag story about your parents, you had amazing children, and you had,
Yeah.
it's all consolation prize.
Yeah.
All right, because you're trying to console yourself, not anybody else. So the rule from me is very simple to anybody who's listening to us, even with regards to putting together a band or trying. For somebody else, the passion could be their career itself. I don't know.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
Achish, his career is not his passion, but for somebody else,
might
their
be.
passion is to work under somebody
Build products and
and
put
to
things
excel and
forward.
stuff like that. So whatever it is, if you understood that is where you belong to, just go about it. Don't ever take a stop.
Right.
Don't ever take a stop. Just keep going at it. Just keep doing what you're meant to be doing. Trust me, the most important advice to accept is failures are your first promises.
Fail forward.
Just keep going. Failures are the perfect evidence that you're on the right road.
Right.
If everything is rosy, something is impeccably wrong. All right. You need to come across failures. They are God's greatest books and lessons
Right.
to get you to know who you are. Your faults identify in you to know how much pain you can bear. I would never know, what my.
Terribly sorry.
No, that's fine. That's
No
fine.
problem.
So that is what it teaches you.
Right.
Your failure teaches you what your capacity is, how much you can bear,
Right.
beyond which
The
you'll burn
threshold.
out. Yeah. So until you fail, how would you know that?
Definitely.
So keep going.
And where did it bring you after getting out of the?
I lost about
So-
1.4 crores after I started business because obviously it's off the beaten road.
Again, it's
My
another.
parents have not been there, my family has not been there,
It's
my
another
friends have not
step.
been there, and I'm from a middle class family. For me to lose about a crore point, 40 lakhs, and at 24,
It's a big deal.
it's suicidal,
Yeah. Yeah. Especially
Literally.
in India.
especially in India, because that's what we were taught again.
Yeah.
Went and hung himself and died.
Yeah.
All right. So I would. The thing is, but this is one reason I keep telling people about God, because no one can at that point in time uplift your heart and say, you know what, I'll see you through this.
Right.
Because even your parents, even if they don't want to say a negative word, the moment the next morning you look at their face, you will know they're regretting about you. And that look says more than words.
More than anything.
So the deal is very simple. It is a pathetic road. It is a miserable road.
Right.
I when I look back now, honestly, I dread it because I have no clue how I came through it.
You regret?
Man, who wants to be there?
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, so
but it's better off, as you said, working.
It started
For someone
working out.
else.
Yeah, you're thankful to to God and to the life that you have where you are right now. But if you're gonna ask me, all right, would you like to go down that road again? No.
No, yeah, definitely. It's better.
It's not. So that's why I said
It's better-
that the what you meet out on the road is very
It's
regrettable.
apparently like equal to eating glass. I've heard from Elon Musk or somebody.
Yeah, exactly. So that is what it is, and that road is going to be pathetic. It's going to be miserable. It's going to be, a lot of ignominy. People mocking at you. A lot of shame.
Yeah,
You're going to
yeah.
be a laughing stock. People are going to be. You're a gazing stock to others.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's all and much more than this. The way people pull you down, saying I don't. And there are polite. The best part is not the harsh people. The polite people hurt us more.
Put it in silently.
Don't take me for wrong, macha. That's why I told you that time. You know, that's like all the more rubbing badly on the wound. No, now that's called not consolation. I don't want such consolation. You
Right.
rather come and speak to me positive, saying, hey, you know what, bro, don't worry.
Go for it.
Things will still work, keep going. I
Right.
know you're on the right road. That's better than to come and feel bad for me.
Huh.
Feeling bad makes me all the more suicidal.
Right.
Maybe it makes me murderous. I want to kill you now. You know? Now I'll save my life to kill yours.
Become disastrous.
So the rule for the road is very simple. It's going to be full of filth, pain, sorrow, rejections, people not believing in yourself, and you time and again visiting a point called you not being able to believe in yourself anymore. Very that's the biggest challenge and very stark.
Yeah, yeah.
You got to overcome that.
Hmm.
Time and again you'll come to a point where you are not able to believe in yourself anymore.
Definitely.
Now that disaster you'll have to learn what it is to overcome. And I tell you, for me, it is only God. I believe then, because my question was this. So for what did he create me then? For me to perish? No way. Then he's a loser, not me. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
See, if
ball's in
Hyundai
his
fails,
court.
where do you take Hyundai?
I'm sorry?
If Hyundai, the car fails, where do you take Hyundai to?
Service center.
The Hyundai service
In
center.
the Hyundai boys.
And whom are you blowing off at?
Yeah,
You're blowing off that guy.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter how badly you drove it.
yeah, yeah.
What the heck? You know, your car cannot even take these roads. What the heck are you doing? You're like suddenly putting the producer on quality check.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So for me, that is exactly what it is.
Hmm.
So if I fail,
Uh-huh.
it's not me. It's a shame to someone else who created me.
Right.
And as much as I do know, the one who created me cannot fail.
Hmm.
And if that is the truth, I cannot fail.
Definitely.
And the buck stops here. That's it.
Nice.
This is it.
I mean, that's the reason
That was
you
nice.
asked me why was I doing the podcast, to get out journeys like this,
Yep.
so that inspires others and gives a ray of hope. Because again, we were youngsters too. Like when I was young,
I thought you still
Probably.
are.
relatively, compared to the amount of what I needed to hear was this probably when I was young. So
Absolutely.
somebody who's there who's 20, 24, like would love to
Absolutely.
listen to this and get something out of this. And this kind of content was not there when we were young, at least from Bangalore and India
Yeah.
at least. So I thought I'd get on people who are doing something, and it probably they rub off on what you say,
Absolutely.
and can do something on their own. It can be like directly related, but something off. They can rub off on it and bring
Just an
something.
inspiration. That's enough.
Definitely.
Sometimes. Yeah. Very true.
So how about Bangalore? Like, how do you feel on a general basis coming to Bangalore?
Been here for 17 years now.
Uh-huh.
I'm still kind of, a
Huh.
teetotaler on Kannada.
No problem. English works.
English works.
That's the
Broken
beauty.
Kannada works.
Yeah.
Yeah, they appreciate.
Yeah.
I like them for that.
Definitely.
And the localites, they really appreciate when you take those little initiatives to speak
Huh.
your own broken Kannada, and
Yeah.
they add words to what you're trying to put together, which is something I really admire and appreciate about
Yeah,
these
yeah.
people. And beautiful place, lovely weather. It has changed over the last 17 years without a doubt.
Huh.
Still, yeah, thankfully when the monsoon comes, yeah, nothing like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it doesn't allow you to wake up in the morning to work out. But
Need your coffee.
you gotta push yourself. But lovely set of people. Yeah, you kind of more or less face India here. You
Hmm.
find your Punjabi, you
Yeah,
find your
yeah.
Sikh, you find your Gujarati,
yeah.
your Marwari here, you find your
Yeah.
Rajasthani.
Yeah.
You find Middle East also here.
You also find
I always say it's like a melting pot
Yeah.
for all influences.
absolutely. It's a very universal,
Yeah.
meeting spot,
So
a
again,
rendezvous.
Since you understand business too, like where we are going with innovation and like the products that are coming out of Bangalore,
Mhm.
and with a lot of interest in like people bringing out new stuff, where do you think it's heading versus to what you've seen in Bangalore? And like with the COVID situation and like everything moving online,
COVID is not a big threat. I'm pretty sure
Mm.
it'll just go away
but
with
it's
time.
almost pushed everything to being online shopping, and brick and mortars like stores are like almost like non-existent now, and it's pushing everything to digital payments.
One thing if you realize, Sakshit, is that you can the human system is built on touch and feel.
Yeah.
Whatever said,
Hmm.
then you can never take
Yep.
that away from them. So
Haptic
how much
feedbacks.
ever you push it all to that small desk there,
Yeah.
end of the day people want touch and feel. And
Definitely.
the simple illustration for that is 3 months.
Yeah.
They just couldn't stay inside their house and keep ordering.
But they still
everything.
order McD off of
Because-
internet.
Yeah, that is the
They don't.
when you want to
go-
rip off discount, you do that. But
But I still feel
beyond that, it's global, not just in Bangalore.
yeah.
Humans
And
cannot
something
live without the
primal.
touch and feel. We are made for it.
Yeah, it's fundamental.
That's fundamental, like you rightly said. So it's going to be impossible, and it's all just going to be a matter of time before everything with regards to brick and mortar, it has to coexist.
Yeah.
One is called convenience, which is right at your doorstep. No, that's fine.
That was recorded. Fuck. Idhula edit agula, bro.
I don't think so. I
Continue,
just
bro.
keep it. Let it go in one flow, Mari. Or cinema
No problem, bro.
பார்க்கறவங்களுக்கு ஒரு
It
cinema
doesn't
மாதிரி.
matter. 1.5 hours we need to like push. It doesn't matter.
So that's where we are at. So it has to coexist. Like I said, your indoor activities using your online, advantage is just a comfort zone. But when people finally want to feel like people, they cannot be sitting in front of a screen. That makes them robotic.
But like to my point as to why I asked the question is because again, as I told you, like everything that I did learn was not really going out and getting an education in terms of getting online and just learning skill sets, like everything off the internet.
Right.
So if something in relation to that, like how would you see that going? Because again, as I told you, almost everything music production can be something which is far more easier right now to just learn online. Which is, again, like the education system, there's a movement of again like
Online schooling, homeschooling, and stuff like that. I don't know. You got any take on
Yeah,
that?
what I would say when it comes to online schooling and all that stuff is kids need to be there in school.
yeah,
so
they
that-
miss school, they miss
Yeah.
teachers. That was the point.
They
Of
The
have
physical
so-
aspect of
Yeah,
being.
being
they need
there.
to bunk the class physically.
Yeah, that they shouldn't miss that.
Yeah.
They can't.
They shouldn't miss that.
Absolutely.
Like, what? Turn off the video and like I bunked class.
Bunk
That's
the
not
class. Damn, it
happening.
doesn't feel good. I'm not in a mall.
Yeah, so but that, and when it comes to studies as well, I feel that even when a student is physically present in a classroom, that makes a lot of difference than he's just mentally present in the classroom. And the way the teachers could even coordinate with the students, right, when they are teaching them. I feel that communication, like direct eye-to-eye contact, is much more better than when you see them
Absolutely.
on a screen.
Right.
So when it comes to that, it's that. When it comes to businesses and other shopping, come on, I've always hated online shopping because you order for one thing and what you get is another
Something.
thing. See, unless you're ordering from certain like
Specific brands.
specific brands which you already seen it in a store again,
Yeah.
and then you go and order it online because there's a discount, it's fine.
Yeah.
But then otherwise, e-commerce is actually boosted up a lot during this COVID because people don't have a choice.
Yeah.
But now is the time when people are actually realizing that we do need a choice. We just don't need only online.
Absolutely.
Like the time when they just gave that release order for malls to open, did you see how much people were just
Thronging
driven
the
out
place,
there?
yeah.
Bangalore felt empty without the traffic, bro. I'm 100% sure. Like, see, I was
Every day
regret-
looked like a Sunday.
There were times when I used to like literally curse
Shit
everyone
at the
on the
fucking
road. Yeah, when the road was so jam packed. But then a week it was fun. 2 weeks it was fun. But after that, like,
Oh, shit,
come
where's
on,
the
man, I
other-
missed that. Where's everyone?
Where is everybody cheating on each other?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how it goes. When it comes to business, I think online has taken a big. I mean, it's inclined a lot right now. But other than that, it always depends on the like what do you say, touch.
Touch and feel. But like again, like work from home, like people are seeing that it's easier for it to be work from home, and like you can work from home. Apparently, Google and like other companies until next year.
Yeah, that's how it is for all the companies. That thing, I would say, like, see, I work in Electronic City and I stay in Hebron. So, yeah, so
It's a journey.
Yeah, so for me to
Pack your
ride,
sleeping bag.
ride for like 1.5 hours on a stretch,
Tea break, 3 tea breaks.
it is hectic. But at this point of time, for me, work from home is working out really well because I'm sitting. Dude, if I have to actually get up and get ready and go to office, I'll have to wake up at like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the
Definitely,
morning.
and it wastes all your energy.
Yeah, and
And
I have-
shitting on people.
yeah, that too. And then it's an easy 1.5 hour ride and all that, and that's so much tension on the way because you're going through traffic, and then you're also as you're riding and going in this traffic, which is going to psych you up even more. You have to think of what things are going to happen in the office. Happen in the
How do I
office.
get back? What if it rains?
Exactly. So that. So all these things. But now when it comes to work from home, come on, dude.
Yeah.
If I have to log in at 9:30, I wake up at like 9:20.
9:20, just get the work done. Have more coffee. And get ready.
So in that way, when it comes to work, I would feel that this is better,
Yeah.
but not always. Even now when we have client meetings and all, we have a lot of confusions. It's always better to convey things in person than to try and explain just through words, because your what do you say, your physical expressions,
Absolutely.
your physical expressions
they matter.
it gives a different kind of a view.
Huh.
And when you just directly put put them in only words, it might convey in a different way.
Right.
So in that way, I would say, yeah.
Great. And also, any startups or anything that you think service that like Dunzo, people have come over
Yeah,
and they
during
talked
this
about Dunzo.
lockdown.
Or on a general basis in Bangalore, do you think anything that's helpful? You don't know Dunzo?
Dunzo
No
has
app.
always been there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but people started using it more
Very
during this
late.
Yeah,
COVID.
yeah.
Swiggy has always been ruling, so Swiggy is
Yeah.
awesome. So even when the entire world is locked down, Swiggy was.
Yeah,
Those people are the
killing
only
it, yeah.
people who had like peaceful work. And yeah, one more thing which I wanted to honestly tell during this lockdown was the cops. Amazing, like seriously,
Huh.
I've been irritated with them. I've been pissed off
Yeah,
with
they
them
were
for
held
all.
the
Yeah,
thing together.
but they are the ones
And
who actually.
a lot of them are too getting the
Just lock their
cases and all
backs.
of that.
Yeah.
Literally,
Like
without
when,
arrest.
when everyone was having work from, even doctors had shifts now.
Yeah.
So if there are like 10 doctors in a hospital, 5 can work at one
Yeah,
point of time.
exactly.
But these guys, they were there 24/7.
Yeah.
So
Stretched.
that is really hats off to them, because they didn't care about their family, and then when they
Yeah.
wanted to protect their entire community, and when people are trying to be against them, that is just being
Yeah,
stupid.
against them
Yeah.
also. Yeah.
That is really stupid. That is one thing which I felt was really bad, which
Bad.
happened during the COVID. But other than that, these cops did an amazing job.
Definitely.
Seriously.
I do ask, any apps that you use as musicians or on a general basis, you think anything of the
Metronome.
Anything.
Metronome.
metronome.
Guitar tuner. Guitar
Guitar
tuner.
tuner.
Yeah, bro, metronome.
Metronome.
That's the name of my app.
Yeah. I use something called Soundbrenner.
Yeah.
Soundbrenner.
Soundbrenner is like, suppose you have 4 mobiles, you can
Yes,
sync up
sir.
the same tempo.
Oh, Bluetooth.
Oh.
If you
Link.
change the tempo, the longer earphone.
Ableton Link.
Yeah, it's like link.
Okay, no, that's.
Finally, this blog is worth making.
What releasing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this thing,
Soundbrenner.
because in our band as of now,
I'm
I'll be the
enjoying
only
it.
one following the metronome,
Yeah.
and these guys have to literally listen to what I'm playing, and then so they don't have
But
that.
you're the timekeeper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the timekeeper. I do come late,
Yeah.
but I keep time.
Top 5 spots in Bangalore, according to you. Like, what do you prefer to just go chill or
Or what does weekends look like?
weekends look like?
Jam
for
room.
you? Yeah,
Weekends look like Mondays and Tuesdays. Though.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Seriously.
But other than that, weekends.
Spots.
Yeah, because of this COVID thing, we've usually we used to jam 3 days a week. That is weekdays.
Mhm.
But that has been a little off because of
Yeah.
our work timings. Since I'm doing a work from home, I don't have a fixed time where I can say like, yes, I can leave at this time.
Mhm.
At times it might extend, and that clashes with
Yeah.
Yeah.
jam.
Right.
So for the moment, we've just kept it only during weekends. And yeah, today was the first time we had a morning
Morning
jam.
session after a long
Ah,
time.
So
Yeah.
this
How
was
does it
very.
feel like? Do you still?
Oh,
the
we used to
juice
have
is
this
still
before.
flowing, or like
Yeah.
certain. Sometimes it's evening the juices start flowing.
For music, it's always juicy.
Yeah.
It's always that's
Exactly. No
right?
doubts.
that.
But there was one time when we sat. Yeah, this single which he was talking about. We were here at 8 in the morning.
Yeah. 7:45, 8 we were here.
8
10:30 we
Till
wound up.
10:30 we were in one room. There was one place and continuous work. Oh my god.
Breakfast,
that was
lunch, dinner,
dinner,
snacks.
everything done
We should
here.
start like a service here only, outside.
It was, the table was outside.
Yeah, I had put it up
So,
like that.
when it came to that,
Peaceful. Make that a lounge, bro. It'll be more
Yeah, yeah.
peaceful.
It was almost kind of like a
Lounge only.
so when I put myself sitting and working in office, like
Yeah.
14 hours, on a stretch.
Yeah.
Like, dude, 9 hours of login,
Huh.
8 hours is like proper work timings, 1 hour is break. Like, out of 9, 1 hour is break. But then even in that 8 hours, I can say that we work for like 3-4 hours
Right.
max. If you're like actually putting a head
Yeah,
to
yeah.
it, rest will be like here and there, that kind of work.
Right.
But then even with that much of break, when I
Yeah.
sit in the office for 9 hours, you lose your head.
With the traffic and getting there.
No, office is going to be
Just
completely
being there
quiet.
at the
Just
desk.
being there at the desk
Huh.
and looking at the screen.
Yeah.
But then that 14 hours, we could have spent another 5 hours extra. We wouldn't have felt the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we wouldn't
yeah,
have.
So that is where, when we follow our passion
Yeah,
and when
yeah.
we do something
Days
which
without-
we are,
yeah,
and what we
It's
enjoy.
called the flow state,
Mm.
apparently.
So-
Yeah. It is called the flow state.
So when that happens, it's beautiful. That's the reason I said when we said that the vision of the band is one.
Hmm.
We are all the same way. Like when we have to think of going to work, like
Fuck that shit.
yeah. But we have to jam, like let's jam.
Yeah.
Definitely. Sometimes after work too, you feel like you looking forward to making.
Oh, there were
music,
so many
getting
times when I
back. Yeah,
finished work and I was doing night shift the
yeah.
previous
Or
time.
else if you had to go to the gym, probably you'd be like,
Ah.
shit, full day.
So There were times when I used to. I did a night shift. 9:30 in the night I log in, and 6:30 in the morning I log out, and we'll have jam here at
7
7 in the
o'clock,
morning.
That's great.
So I'll finish work and directly come here.
That's great.
When I'm leaving office, I'll be tired, but when I reach the jam room, like,
Yeah,
okay.
you're all energy.
Nice.
So that is how your passion gets you going.
That's great. What else, bro?
The spots in Bangalore, bro. Like,
Any hot spots?
where
You
you
guys
used to
trek
hang
or
out during
anything
your
like that?
childhood or
Trek.
Or
Any
you guys
spots?
get out on a drive?
Yeah, we go for drives.
Yeah.
Last time
Or
when
a
we went
ride.
for a drive, we went, night ride. We went all the way to Brigades, had ice cream at 1 o'clock in the night.
That is
and
after
stuff.
a practice got over.
Ah.
Yeah.
Short.
Yeah, that was a very short time.
Usually boys do Nandi Beta.
No, when I'm really bugged, I take my car, go to the airport. The new
Yeah,
airport.
Huh.
Just go peacefully park.
We've
it off
not
there.
actually gone for a drive together. as a
Yeah,
family.
because
Probably
it's again
that's
with relation to the the different work timing and schedules
yeah,
we
yeah.
all have.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's been a
and
kind of
by the
struggle.
time you finish up here, it's again.
Again, it's to run back to work. See,
Run
we
back.
just finished.
Yeah.
Today I happened to be a public holiday, which I
Mm.
didn't know. So I pulled him back and I said, you better be a part of the
Unfortunately,
blog.
I've got that holiday. Otherwise, usually I don't have these
Yeah.
Indian
Right.
holidays.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Huh.
So yeah,
I
no
wanted to
spots.
ask something else, which was
Drives, I think we should actually start going.
Yeah.
But the problem is,
you can,
apart from
you
the
can
time,
sort things out probably on the drive.
It's just a
Yeah.
matter of time. Yeah.
but right now we're actually working out timings only for the jam.
Yeah.
So if we have to plan a drive in between, I think I'll have to log out a little early or something.
Yeah.
Right. I usually do ask this question to everybody on the podcast. Like, so if there's like, say, each of you have to answer, right? So if you have to send out a message, or it can be anything, a question, like a message in a bottle, to someone who's 10,000 years away from right now, in
Mhm.
this point of time.
10,000 years away.
away.
Okay.
So what would that be? A question or anything?
Sure.
If somebody's listening,
A message to the future.
a message in a bottle. It can be a question. It can be anything. You just get to write
Hey,
a sentence.
black
Yeah.
lives matter. That's
Nice,
what
nice.
Yeah.
It came at the same time. We take that as a yes.
So yeah.
That's great, bro. So I enjoyed thoroughly.
Likewise.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you for having us
Thank you guys
over.
for coming over, for being gracious enough to just
Thank
pick
you
up the
for
mic
having
and
us.
just
Just
start
that you didn't
speaking.
turn on the AC. That's okay.
We have some noise issues, so we're keeping noise
it
levels low.
So yeah, Adana will promote the thing, as in like where can people catch you guys on?
No, we're soon gonna get active on
Yeah.
social media.
Now
Yeah,
they have
so
to catch us in the
just-
jam room.
They have to
Yeah,
catch us
or
only
your
in the
social
jam
media
room.
handles.
Yeah,
Inside the jam.
I'll share it all with you guys. and
You
you can
can-
take it up from there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, no, for somebody who's listening to see what you guys are up to. Social media handles for the band, does the band
No,
have a
not
page?
yet.
We
Okay.
had
We
to-
Or personal page,
so
so
we have an
personal-
FB page, the Grafted branch.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have to get active in there. Soon we will start our promotion activities. and
Oh,
things
when
like
is that new single coming out now?
In 2 weeks
2
approximately.
weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
So you
That's
can
great,
That'll
bro.
be with an
stay
official
tuned
video.
for that.
Yeah. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Best of luck.
Yeah, bro. That's
Alright.
it, huh?
Thank you, bro.
Thank you
Guys,
so
that's
much.
a wrap for the Bangalore podcast. And I
Thank
hope
you
you
so
guys
much.
liked it. I did.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was an
See ya.
enjoyable time.
Until next time.